YouTubers, Pastor Bob. Well, I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Mine went pretty good. I did a whole lot better this week than I have the last couple weeks. Man, I'll tell you what, I had some, I don't know what it was, but the enemy was coming at me for like about 2 weeks solid, and this last week I've been doing pretty good. You know, I was, my wife every once in a while when she's watching TV, the hopper for the Dish Network, it gets kind of confused or something, and I'll have to go over there and hit the off button on everything, turn everything off, then just hit this one button on the power strip and it turns everything back on. The hopper, the DVR, everything. And then it all works till you have to do it again in a couple of weeks. And I thought, you know what, that's pretty cool, because I know the same thing on my computer. I'll leave my computer on for like about, a couple of weeks, and then I'll get ready to go edit some video, and it just doesn't work. It's like, nope, the memory is too clogged up, it's not going anywhere, you got to reboot this thing, start fresh. And I thought how cool it would be to have that default button on a couple of things. And the first one is a spiritual default button. You know, all of us need a spiritual default button every once in a while. And when we read John 14, 1-4, Jesus is talking to his disciples, and this is what he's saying. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go ye know, and the way you know. And right then, when he said that, where I go you know, and the way you know, Thomas jumps up and goes, time out, hold on. He goes, I have no clue as to what you're talking about. I don't know where you're going. I certainly don't know the way to get there. I don't know what you're talking about. Thomas said, hold on a second, back up. I don't get any of this. So what Jesus told Thomas, the next sentence after that, to me is like the Christian default. It's like nothing else matters. You can clutter people with all these spiritual rules, all these do's and don'ts, just all this religious jargon, all this stuff. Well, Jesus followed Thomas's hold on with the Christian default. And this is what he said. And it's John 14:6, passage we all know. Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. People, listen. When you get in a spiritual funk, when just nothing works out, I mean nothing works out, just everything just totally just goes to garbage. It's just nothing works. People, when you get in that kind of a situation and you start to get a little bit depressed about it, do what Thomas did. Go, hold on, time out. Lord, I do not understand what's happening right now. I don't know what's going on around me. But Lord, I know that you are the way, the truth, and the life. So Lord, I just give it all to you, handle it. People, that's the Christian default. And you know, while I was thinking about that, I thought, man, you know what I'd like to have? I'd like to have a government default. I wish I had that same button, and it's like on the Capitol at Washington, D.C. You climb up on the Capitol, there's a big button up there, you go up there, and you just push that button down, and it defaults the entire government. I would like to default the American government to the way it was in 1776. Default it right back to our basic Constitution. Everything else just falls into place. Just the basics. We're free. Minimalist government keeping out of everybody's hair. Long before there was personal income tax, Long before we used to go get entangled in all these foreign wars. Everything, just default to government. You know, I got a feeling that part of my issue that I was going through a couple weeks ago has to do a little bit with American politics, because I'm sick of it. I'm just absolutely sick of it. When you look at the American government, the people who run it, they're murderers. They're pedophiles. They're the worst criminals imaginable, and they're running the U.S. government. Nothing coming out of Washington can be believed. It's all lies. Every bit of everything the government says, it's all lies. Most of the people that have been in the Congress and the Senate, there's a list of names that, over half, they've been there for 30 to 50 years. 30 to 50 years. And these people that have been there 30 to 50 years, if you ask them, what's your greatest accomplishment, you know what they would say? Nothing. They couldn't think of anything because they haven't accomplished nothing. Most of these people go to Washington for one reason only, and that is to scam, plunder, extort all the money they can out of the American taxpayer, and bribe every single person they come in contact with that wants to do business with the United States government. That's exactly what they do. That's why they're there. They're in it for themselves. They will say anything imaginable, anything you want to hear to get one more vote. Like I told you before, the only time a politician's not lying is when he's calling another politician a liar. That's it. So people, listen. Default. I'm convinced that we as Christians don't need to be concerned about Washington and politics. I'm washing my hands of it. I'm going to vote, and I'm done with it. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. What are we to be concerned about? If we're not supposed to be concerned about politics, we're not supposed to get involved in it. And people, when you read the New Testament, you will discover the Roman government oppressing the Jews. There's very little mentioned about it. Matter of fact, there's not a single word mentioned about, hey, let's all get together and overthrow the Romans. Nope. Jesus loved them. Paul loved them. Peter loved them. They helped out all they could, all that came to them. Nope, I got a feeling we're supposed to be concerned about one thing and one thing only. And that's the time out that Thomas said to Jesus, wait a minute, I don't get any of this. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know the way to get there. And Jesus gave him the basic default. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes unto the Father but by me. People, when the pressure gets too heavy and it all starts coming down around you, just default. Hit the default button. And don't worry about anything else but Jesus being the way, the truth, and the life. Give everything to him. He'll handle it all. It's the way it works. Anyway, I just want to give you something to think about. The old default button. Heaven or hell you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.